and we are in danger of real issues in our towns and cities by not taking on Islamism.
Yes.
I'm worried about the encroachment of Sharia law. I'm worried about the grooming gangs that aren't being properly, where the authorities aren't being properly held to account. All of these things worry me. These are the things I care about. I would like to see, the best of the Conservative Party and the best of Reform work together to be a real force at the next election.
One of the massive challenges, though, Liz, and I know it's one that you are determined to tackle, is how the right in the UK can somehow unite to do the right thing, to save the country, to stop the wokery. And in the US, you know how difficult it was. I mean, Donald Trump had to take control of the Republican Party by stealth, and for a long time they tried to stop him. We have a situation over here where you've got Tommy Robinson, you've got Nigel Farage, you've got Kemi Badenoch, and you've got the more traditional Conservative Party. You describe it in 10 Years to Save the West as survival of the wettest when it comes to lots of the Tories who remain in Parliament. So before we get on to that, can I first ask you about Kemi Badenoch, newly elected?
Yeah, I just want to say, I wouldn't
leader.
necessarily include all of those figures in the future of the right. For example, not Tommy Robinson.
Got it. So Kemi Badenoch, you didn't publicly endorse anyone in the campaign. You had ran against her and beaten her with MPs when you became Prime Minister. Do you think she was the right choice for the Conservative Party?
I mean, the reason I didn't sort of put forward who I thought should be the leader of the Conservative Party is I think the biggest problem the Conservative Party has isn't the leader. And I comment on this in my book when I say at the general election, some of our best MPs were wiped out. Jacob Rees-Mogg, Brendan Clark-Smith, some of the people who really understand how our country ticks and what needs to happen. And the problem is, in the Conservative Parliamentary Party, quite a lot of the people who were the architects of our huge defeat have been left there. I describe it as survival of the wettest. So I think the problem either leader would have had is getting the parliamentary party to agree to the policies this country needs for serious change. And what do I mean by that? I mean, we've got to dismantle the unelected state. We've got to make the Bank of England accountable. We have to make the justice system accountable. We've got to get rid of all these quangos like the OBR. We have to appoint the top level civil servants. At present, they are agents of the status quo, and you simply won't get Conservative policies enacted with those people in place. So all of those things need to happen. And I don't think the Conservative Parliamentary Party as it is prepared to take on the establishment and prepared to take on the status quo. So what I think is needed, and this is also what happened in America, there was a very strong movement in the Tea Party who wanted real change. That then morphed into the Make America Great Again movement, which were the big supporters of Donald Trump. People like Bannon, who I'm a massive fan of, former Goldman Sachs banker, understood the system and how powerful it was and how it needed to be opposed and how to take it on. And that is the kind of thinking we need in Britain. And, there will be some people in the parliamentary party that when the weather changes, they will change their views. I've seen quite a lot of that. And there will be others who maybe don't want to be in the Conservative Party anymore. And I do hope that the movement can attract some of the best thinkers in Reform as well, because we're going to need people like Farage, as well as people like Jacob Rees-Mogg, as well as great people that are in the Conservative Party. I'm a fan of Andrew Griffiths. I hope I haven't condemned him by saying that, but I think he's a very, very sound economic thinker. We need all of those people on the pitch, but we need a movement behind them, because what I found when I was trying to enact Conservative policies in Number 10 is I looked behind me, and there were some great supporters like you, Dan, but there wasn't a huge crowd of people actually calling for the change our country needed.
They were out to get you from day one. They were out to get you from day one.
That's certainly true of some of the parliamentary party. But the point I'm making,
And the media, though.
is there wasn't a Tea Party movement, there wasn't a
No.
MAGA movement actually counteracting the power that the elite have in Britain.
No,
And that needs to happen as well. You're not going to do it just with, you could have, the new Winston Churchill, leader of the Conservative Party today. If there is not a movement in the country backing that person up, they will not succeed.
But first, every day, subtle changes occur in our bodies, often going unnoticed. It's called inflammagene, a chronic low-grade inflammation that deteriorates our health as we get older. It's more than just a sign of aging. It's a key contributor to health issues like cardiovascular diseases, dementia, and depression. It continuously weakens the body's resilience, turning minor infections severe and impacting mental health and cognitive function. Inflammagene significantly diminishes both quality of life and independence. Proper diet, exercise, and sleep, it can only get you so far. So I've started taking Clean Bean by Verso. It contains ingredients targeted to fight off and help prevent inflammagene. Research shows that these ingredients clean out damaged cells in the body that affect healthy cells, reduce inflammation, protect against oxidative stress, and improve conditions like cardiovascular diseases and neurological disorders. After taking Clean Bean for some time, I've noticed less joint pain, increased energy, better mood, clearer skin. I can think better. I don't get sick as often. All benefits of reducing inflammation. Plus, Verso ensures transparency and quality by publishing third-party testing results for each batch they produce. So just click the link in the description in YouTube or Rumble, or head on over to www.buy.ver.so. Today, you can use the coupon code at checkout. Just type in Outspoken and you'll save 15% off your first order. So to repeat, that's buy.ver.so/outspoken. Use the coupon code Outspoken. Are you committed then to staying in the Conservative Party?
I'm certainly committed to working in the Conservative cause. I'm a member of the Conservative Party. I've got no plans to join any other party. But what I care about is saving this country. I think we're in serious danger of another 1970s style financial crisis. We're in danger of blackouts from our absolutely dreadful energy policies being pursued by Ed Miliband.
Ed Miliband is mad. He is mad.
And we are in danger of real issues in our towns and cities by not taking on Islamism.
Yes.
I'm worried about the encroachment of Sharia law. I'm worried about the grooming gangs that aren't being properly, where the authorities aren't being properly held to account. All of these things worry me. These are the things I care about. I would like to see, the best of the Conservative Party and the best of reform work together to be a real force at the next election.
And I think what a lot of my viewers are wondering, Liz, is how that can practically work. Because a lot of us did vote for Reform UK at the last election. And I'm sure you can understand why, given what was being offered by Rishi Sunak. And you're very tough on Rishi Sunak in 10 years to save the West. So how will this come together? And do you see any scenario where it's Nigel Farage who could end up leading the Conservative movement, where it's Nigel Farage who could end up Prime Minister by 2029?
I think it's very difficult to say what's going to happen from here, but there's no doubt in my mind that at present we do not have a concerted political force that is capable of delivering a Trump-style victory in the United Kingdom. And that is what we need to get to by 2029. I think the first step is the movement. It's the Tea Party MAGA movement that is going to mobilize people across our country who are currently disengaged from politics. And it was pretty high turnout in the US election because a lot of people were motivated to come out and vote. So that is the support base that is needed. And then, as I've said, I'm not going to name names. I've talked about people that I think who get it, who understand the change that's needed to our bureaucracy, the change that's needed to the way this country is governed, because Parliament has been hollowed out. I mean, Parliament does not really talk about the issues. It's become a forum for expressing disquiet rather than a decision-making body driving the country forward, and that all of that has to change. And I believe that these are the changes Trump is going to bring about in America. I think it will create an even bigger difference between Europe, which is in the world's slow lane and getting slower, and America, which is speeding ahead. And I hope that will galvanize and encourage people in Britain.
Can David Lammy stay as Foreign Secretary when he has described Donald Trump as a neo-Nazi and not even deleted the post on X?
Well, it doesn't seem particularly wise by Keir Starmer to keep him in that job. I mean, I don't think he's doing a very good job anyway. He's given away the Chagos Islands. He's cozied up to China. I don't think he's adding any value in that job. I don't think the Labour benches are replete with talent, but I'm sure they could. I mean, would they even be able to find an MP who hadn't said something offensive about Donald Trump?
No.
I don't know.
No, I mean, Starmer has, Angela Rayner has. It's how they think.
They all. It's a sport for the Labour Party, being offensive about Donald Trump. So, yes, I think he should be removed from the job. I don't think he is doing a good job. I also think Ed Miliband is a disaster zone, and I think they need a chancellor who's realistic about the country's economy and how much needs to be changed.
Do you think Ed Miliband's the most dangerous man in Britain?
No, I think Keir Starmer is.
Very good answer. Liz, stand by, because I want to ask you in just 1 minute about the latest with the royal family. You obviously in your book write about that incredibly historic final meeting with Queen Elizabeth II.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.